What is human personality from the European American psychology framework? Each person is regarded as having his/her own unique and personalized biopsychological condition, which characterizes only herself and makes her a distinguishable entity. How does the European worldview interpret African behavior? It interprets African behavior in terms of its deviation from Eurocentric standard. What is the comparative approach to African personality assessment? Africans in America and European Americans are a cultural homogeneous group. Views only the African experiential history of enslavement and continuing experience of discrimination as marginal. Kanban says they are oppression oriented. How is Azebo's approach instructional? It is useful for articulating some important dimensions or conceptual characteristics of theories of African personality by African and European scientists. How is Azebo's approach comparative? It is comparable to Kanban's scheme. What are the two comparisons of Azebo's regarding Black personalities? Psychic, motivational energy value, and level of analysis. What two categories do Azebo divide affirmative/positivist into? Developmental process and motivational product. What is the process model? It emphasizes the process involved in African personality development. What is the product model? The product model emphasizes the product or outcome and dynamics of the African personality development and focused on nature and structure involved in formation of African personality. What are two different what are di- what is different between Azebo's model and Kanban's? Azebo's scheme can be superimposed to have a worldview. Kanban's scheme speaks directly to the perimeters of worldview as the framework. What is the non-nonocentric approach to describe by Camden? In African context, there is a difference between African-centered and Nona-African-centered. The question is from African-centered perspective of whether an idea, concept, or construct is African-centered or not. Under Kanban's table, what are non-Afrocentric theories criteria? Operate out of Euro WV, reactive/negative energy/assumption, abnormality/deficiency, emphasis as core of African personality. Under Kanban's table, what are Afrocentric theories criteria? African WV, positive/proactive energy, emphasis on normality and naturalness of Afrocentric as core of African personality functioning. What are the worldview models called when created by Africans, but present Euro WV. Diffuse or pseudo Afrocentric model using Afrocentric terms on Eurocentric models. What are Afrocentric theories guided by? They are guided by positive energy, self-affirming approach, and proactive, not reactive like Eurocentric. Their energy becomes from their nature. It comes from their nature. What can be deduced from Kanban? Africans always represent deviation from Euro norm because they are simply not Europeans. They are African. Wherever Africans fall along the psychological functioning line within the non-Afrocentric approach, they will perpetually be in a state of deviation and can only approximate the Eurocentric standard, never fully achieving this. What are the various norms of optimal African personality functioning? Afrocentric orientation states is strong sense of African self-consciousness. Non-Afrocentric states include Eurocentric orientation, biracial, pseudo-Afrocentric, and assimilation are optimal.